The Ricoh GR3X looks like a really nice 40mm equivalent pocket camera, but its price has not dropped since it was released last year, even on the used market. And I'm not quite ready to pick one up yet. Fortunately, there's a really good alternative that is much, much cheaper. This is my poor man's Ricoh GR3X, a Panasonic GX1 16 megapixel micro four thirds body from 2012, and the Panasonic 20mm f1.7 pancake lens. Now, I can't take credit for coming up with what you're about to see. A friend of mine on the Snappiness forum kept posting pictures from a similar setup and wrote about how happy they were with it. And that is what got me interested. And really, thousands of people probably already know about this killer setup, and I've just been keeping it a secret from you and me. At least that's what it felt like. Because it's so good, it's left me wondering, why doesn't everyone photograph with these? Let me break down the setup for you. The GX1 has a great sensor, nice ergonomics, and most controls that people would want in a compact camera. It's also cheap, coming in at just over $100, and that gets you a nice 16 megapixel image with good colors. The body also has the ability to add an optional electronic viewfinder accessory, like you see the one I have here, if you prefer one of those from time to time or want to leave it on permanently. I've had no main gripes about the GX1, I've mostly been impressed with it, but the one thing is I have not been very happy with the autofocus, which has felt quite slow even in well-lit scenarios. But the real star of the show here in this setup is the Panasonic 20mm f1.7 lens. I joked about this all being a well-guarded secret, but in truth, many of you have been telling me for a while now that I need to pick up this lens. The lens resolves a fantastic amount of detail, one of the best lenses I've ever used, and provides a nice background separation even on this micro four thirds sensor. It's very compact, and in combination with a compact micro four thirds camera, makes a really sleek setup. Now, I don't have a GR3X to compare directly, but obviously there are some major differences. While small, this micro four thirds setup is only pocketable if you wear fishing trousers, whereas the GR3X can fit into your jeans. The GR3X has a larger sensor, more megapixels, newer processor, better features, etc., but the Panasonic 20mm is a faster lens, helping in those lower light scenarios. And I can't compare the lenses optically side by side very well, but the Panasonic is very, very good. And I trust that Ricoh's is as well if it's anything like the 28mm equivalent counterpart. The micro four thirds camera and 20mm lens can be had for less than $300 used, whereas the GR3X is still hovering just below $1,000 used. I'm curious, what do you think of this setup? Let me know in the comments below, and check out the blog where I first got inspired to try out this setup for some pictures of the similar setup and more cool stuff. Remember to go out there and take photos wherever you are with whatever camera you have right now, and until next time, happy snapping.